So e4, knight f6, and d4. Beautiful, beautiful. The only thing I would say here is there's one piece of advice I'll give you here is that after e4 and after knight f6, if he doesn't respond with a pawn push, always think about like what's the point of this move, right? He did this move, and is there any move you can do with your pawn to immediately counter it? And this is the best move actually here. Just push. If he goes here, he's just jumping his knight around like a fool, right? If he jumps his knight around here, another pawn push. Beautiful, right here. If he goes here, he has to go back, right? d4, and look at this center you've created, and look at this knight that's on the side. Yeah, this is a beautiful center. It is, yeah. And I think you should go for that if he does a knight move out. But if he just does a pawn move out, then you can go for your thing of pawn moves. Yeah. So here, push. Uh huh. No, if he goes here, his knight's getting in. It's getting in the action. Like it's really lost. Like his knight is gone. His knight is gone. And you're just developing your stuff. His knight just going around here. Funny thing, his knight's actually trapped here. Can't go here. His knight can't go here because bishop takes. Can't go back. Can't go here. So right here, if you're saying here, here, here. Oh, I see what you're trying to say. So here, and then here. Okay. And if he goes here, then you actually take with the king. I know it seems weird, but if you get a whole piece, but I know you can't castle, but you got a whole piece, so that's good. That's good enough. Yeah. Yeah, this opening is actually really good, especially if you find like a beginner in this opening, under even 1,000, even 1,000 elo people. I'm not joking. Like, just do this, and you will like win in like 10 moves. I'm not like this is so dominant. This position, this 3 pawn center, and possibly even try to even get a 4 pawn center if they do this. And look how beautiful this position is. Let's say this happens. Look how beautiful this is. Here. Just look at this beautiful dominance. Your knight's out. Your bishop's out. And they have to really restrict their position. So I'd recommend that. Yeah. Let's go back here. So what happened in the game now? Let's reload this for a second. Okay, there we go. All right, so in the game he played d4. That's not a bad move. That's obviously still you're developing your pawn. That's good. He takes, which, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. In this position, you also have to be careful because when he hops his knight in, just be careful what he's attacking. And that was a free pawn. So you did blunder your free pawn. That's not a big deal though. And you immediately push away. And again, pushing away is a decent move, but always always be careful that pushing the king's pawn is not the best move. There's a famous grandmaster actually, named Ben Feingold, who said that never push f3 and kind of use that as a big thing. Basically, never push f3 if you have the chance. So if any piece or pawn ends up on this square, never just push this pawn and the reason behind it is because it just weakens your king. Like this king, do you see these squares here? They're very, very weak. And if somehow this happens, let's say somehow this happens, let's say the knight goes here, and let's say like you want to develop another pawn. So let's say he goes here, you go here. If he ever gives you a check, and do you see how fatal that can be? Because then you have to move your king here. You have to move your king. There's no blocking it. And then you get checked, yeah. But yeah, here you go e4, d4. You lose a pawn, not a big deal. And then you go f3. He goes back. And then bishop d3. So you put your bishop here, which is a good move. You're not hanging anything. Your pawn's still in the middle of the board. Controlling there, yeah. E6 and f4. Okay. I want to know your explanation, actually. What's the plan for f4 here, in your opinion, after you made that move? Mm-hmm. Opening your knight, yep. Yes. So you're trying to get your knight right here, right? And trying to get for this box. Perfect. Yeah. I actually like this move a lot. The only reason that I would not play f3 here is because you can immediately actually just play f4 and get your knight here. Instead of going 1, 2, just go 2. Do you understand? Like at this position, instead of going 1 and then goes back and then push again, just immediately here. Yeah, you're just wasting a move. If he goes here, just immediately go here. Just immediately get your knight here. But this is all good. So here, and then you get your knight here, right? Perfect. Actually, in this position, there's a very common thing. So if he checks you for no reason, Block with a pawn always. Like I know it seems like the knight's better to block with because I mean you obviously develop a knight, but blocking here creates the triangle structure I told you about in the previous lesson. Yeah, it creates this structure now where you have a pawn protecting another pawn, which protects another pawn, and a really really confident center here. So and also the bishop has to move. Like if you go here, bishop has to move. It can't take obviously. It has to move. But you go here, which is actually a totally fine move. If he takes, you're gonna have doubled pawns, which is a little bit annoying, but it's not too bad because your bishop now has an escape square and it can come out. Which I assume you're thinking, right? What are you thinking about this move after you played this? Were you thinking that he takes center center? Yeah, I like that. And did you ever think that if you go here, what happens if he just takes and you go here? You thought about that? Okay, okay. You didn't? Okay, okay. Yeah, it's important to think about like basically what's he attacking because here it's not that bad actually. You're still totally fine. Uh huh. Okay, I see. I see. Okay. So you knew he's attacking the knight, and your idea is just to basically just still keep the center obviously protected, which is good. Um, and does he take in the game? Let's see. Does he take in the game? He does take in the game. Okay, so he does take. And then you take back and he castles. And so far, I actually like your position better just because of your central dominance and your bishop. And I assume you're going to bring your knight up here and your pawn, so I like it. Yep. Nice. Knight out, and castle. In this position, he should be playing d5. He should be immediately trying to restrict your center because you have a lot of central control right now. But he's not playing a very normal move here, which is d5. And this basically just it's called locking the center. If he plays d5, he's locking your pawn from moving forward. Sorry, right here. Right here. Yeah, I was gonna say so after this, right after you castle, he can go right here. He can push. Yeah. Oh no, no. So I was saying he should push the pawn on his side, not your side. Yeah, on your side you should not push the pawn. Your side it's not good to push the pawn. Yeah, yeah, no. I was saying on his side, if I was playing black, because you have to also think about what he would play here, right? If I was black, I would try to restrict the center because you have a lot of center control, and I would push my own pawn to this square. But let's see if he does that. So, oh, okay. And there's a blunder. I assume did he find it? You found it. Perfect. He pushed the pawn, and you're just a free pawn. Perfect. Yeah, he took with the perfect pawn, and can you explain the reason? Yeah, explain the reason behind. Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry, I couldn't. I think you got cut out for a second. Yep. Yeah. Over the center box. And another reason behind this is because again, you get your three pawn structure. Mhm. Yeah, nice protecting it. And another reason is because, and now look at your bishops. Look how powerful his bishops are. Look how powerful they are. If you took with this pawn, if you took with this pawn, let's say, this bishop can't do anything. It's stuck behind its own pawn here. So it's very important to always, yeah, yeah. It's always important to take with it's kind of a rule in chess. Always important to take with the f pawn and not the d pawn. So always take with this pawn, which is important what you did. That's good. Ooh, okay. And then he took back, which is a blunder. He's trading his powerful knight for a weak, not a weak pawn, but a pawn, which is again a 3-for-1 trade. So you're +2. So you take back with the pawn. Perfect, perfect. Again, another good move here. Taking back with the knight actually would have been okay. Let me see though. Yeah, taking back with the knight would have been okay, but yeah, the problem is this and yeah, it does get a little bit risky. So I do like pawn better. The only thing is knight here and then push. You could try to rewrite your knight, but again, that's a little more complicated. But yeah, I think I like what he did here though. Taking with pawn, it just makes more sense though. So took with pawn and push him away, right? Oh, that's a good move also. But again, if he just does a random move, push him away. And the whole reason why this is such a good move is because if you push him away here, how many squares can he go to, right? He can't go to this square. You take with the king. He can't go to this square because the bishop takes it. he can't take the pawn because you have an already defender on the pawn, and you can just take back. And his only square is this square, and this is a terrible square to go to because guess what? The bishop can just take it. And you know why it's so bad? Because now black's gonna have doubled pawns like beside the king. And you know how open this king is? Yeah, king. The king is so open in this position. So keep that in mind. Yeah, basically, whenever a knight moves, just randomly, just kick it away if you have the possibility to. But you go here. He pushes. I assume you take. Oh, okay. I think here taking is better. I know you want to have a central pawn here, but taking here is just better. The reason is because he has to take back with the knight, obviously, right? Not gonna take back with the queen, not gonna take back with the rook. Um, he'll take back with the knight here, and you have a pin on his queen, plus you have so much attack. Like this, I think you remember in the old game where I told you where I slid my queen here, and I went here, right? If you somehow get this position, if you somehow get this is so dominant. I'll show you why. Because this pin is unavoidable to stop. Like you can't move your knight, obviously, right? Because you just take the queen. So, oh, sorry. So you go here, and what can black really do? In your opinion, what can black really do here? And what are some of black's moves? This one? You're saying go here? Yeah. So he can go here, and then you go here, and after this, what does black do? And look at all this pressure against the position. Look, there's so much pressure. It's really hard to stop because now the rook's attacking this, the bishop's attacking this, the queen's attacking this. You have to, funny things, you have to move your king down to protect the knight again. Because if you don't protect the knight, let's just go here, you just take it. And after all this, he can't take back. You're at +7, and you're cooking. Yeah. So he has to bring the king down, and then you can just give a check. King goes back up, and there's a really advanced sack here, but you can actually sack your knight here because if he takes back, you're threatening mate in one. You see this mate in one, and you're threatening all. You still have the pin on the knight, so that you know how this is so dominant for you. So and the yeah, all around, yeah, right here or back here. Mm. I think here could have just taken. I was gonna say, yep. So I think you went back. You just went here. Yep, you went here. Yeah, which is again not bad of a move. The point it's just it's kind of the whole point is to attack the king, and you're kind of I guess you're kind of retreating and not really attacking the king as much, which you should do the opposite of, which is very important. Um, yeah, it's good though. It's a very good move, especially for like the beginner level, because if he does take, you just have a free queen. That's very good. But for the kind of intermediate advanced level, it's oh, and then he pinned you. Okay, let's see here. So he goes here. Oh, and then he pinned you. Yeah, and that's another problem with this too. Yeah, I forgot. You actually he forked you. Yeah. But you got out of the fork, and the funny thing is, in this position, I still like your position better because of just all the attack you have here. You have so much attack. But okay, let's see. He pinned you, and he does get that. He does get that rook, and here it's much better to take back with this rook. Yeah, and the reason is, yeah, and the reason is because this rook's doing nothing here, and you have to make use of it somehow, right? So just take the rook or take the knight, and you have still have a queen that can possibly go here. After maybe like this, go here and threaten mate, almost mate basically, or threaten a very nice pawn in this square. So yeah, again, take with rook would be better, but take with queen, that's fine. Okay, goes queen here. Beautiful move. Rook e1's actually, yeah, it's a very nice move because you're challenging the open file. Like you're making sure that if he takes, you'll take back with the rook, and he can't take back obviously. So you're putting your rook on a nice open file here. Oh, let's see. So he goes d6. Nice. And then again, you take the pawn on f6, and it's a double attack, right? You obviously know it's a double attack. You take the pawn, you're threatening the queen. So if he ever takes back, which he did, you have a free queen. Beautiful. That's amazing. You have a free queen here. And then you have a free pawn. You found the free pawn also. And the rest of the game should be pretty simple. Oh, he sacked your bishop. Nah, this is a good sack. This is a good sack, man, because this sack is actually opening his king even more. Yeah, you saw that. That's very good. Mhm. Because this sack is actually really opening up his king, and it seems like it's a bad sack, but it's his king is wide open. And let's see how you do the rest of the game. So, okay, here's a blunder because he can just take here, and he can just take a free piece, and there's no mates because even if you have this, he can just move back. Let's see. I think you. So you push g4, and he. Wait, and did he take here? Let's see. Did he take? He did take. He did take. Okay. So this did happen apparently. So no, you didn't have. Yeah, instead of pushing g4 here because he just takes a free guy, a better move possibly. Let me see. A better move possibly could have been queen f4 because if he does take, if he just takes the free piece, there's actually like a fourth mate here. That's checkmate. Yeah. It's again a harder move to find. You're like sacking a piece for the win, but it's a cool move to find though. But yeah, here they give a good check though. It's a good check, and another very good check. And now, okay, and you take the bishop with another check, and that's GG's. That's mate. There we go. This is mate. As you know, the king can't move anywhere. Good game. Good game. Yeah, the only opening thing I would say for you is just again, like obviously when a knight's out, I told you this before, but just immediately take it out of the board. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And basically make it move randomly and create the dominant center if possible.